unite. We must show the world that we are one. Embrace the greatness God has brought our way. With a future so secure, and lead us what we need. This is the man. We'll stand as one, united in every sense of the word. By essence, let us do what is right. With a future so secure, and lead us what we need. This is the best.
Without question, the restoration government in Bayelsa State, Nigeria, has made its presence felt in major areas of development, from free, compulsory and qualitative education to provision of world-class healthcare delivery, landmark infrastructure and economic empowerment. And for the first time, there is an articulated, overarching vision of development that is rooted in good governance. Resetting the apparatus of government has led to greater efficiency, and the remarkable progress so far is well known to all. The creed of transparency and accountability has paid off, leading to blockage of leakages, and is a reason the inherited huge wage bill of 6.7 billion came down to 3.7 billion monthly, and why the state government is able to deliver on most of its development agenda in spite of the suffocating economic situation in the country. The action plan to stop impunity, reduce wastage, and reinvent new system devoid of serial malfeasance has, in the last 6 years, been pursued with so much vigor by the Governor Henry Seraki Dixon's administration.
The payrolls in Bayelsa are like Nigerian voters register. So even the unborn children, you find their names. And nobody retires. Nobody dies. We are happy that no worker in Bayelsa dies. Take, for example, the primary education system. That's one place you have monumental rot. In our states, in our schools, this is the only state where you have a primary school with one headmaster, with 10 clerks, with 30 cleaners, and 20 laborers. All the laborers and clerks are over 70 years.
But I have to tell you, Honorable Racketeering Dixon led administration is focusing on the right direction. And we are giving them that support. Nobody bribed me, nobody give me any thank you. As an opposition political parties, I have to say the truth. Because we have seen a lot that this government have already put on ground. We have also seen a lot that already proposed. So we have to support this government. We have to give them that moral support, encourage them, so that they will do more for our own people. Well, this exercise is for the benefit of the whole Bayelsans, not just Honorable Racketeering Dixon or one commissioner or the other. It's for the Bayelsa people. So I am in support of that.
For most Bayelsans, Governor Dixon came at the right time, because Bayelsa State was in need of a man like him, who has guts and a commensurate passion to do the job and take the state to the highest heights. He was determined to ensure that the mandate he was given is not regretted by the people. To show how serious the governor was, he began with himself, and indeed his government, by commencing the monthly transparency briefing, which is simply an exercise to tell Bayelsans how much the state received from various sources and how such funds were spent.
Already you have seen the launch of our transparency website, the Bayelsa Watch website. But this month's transparency briefing will also be slightly different because I want to give a rundown of our finances for the past 1 year. Today, I want to start our transparency report by acknowledging what the Federal Ministry has done, publishing what goes to states. That's what we have been doing here for the past 4 years and counting. And by law, I will never fail.
Realizing the sincerity of the government, Bayelsans, especially those who work in the state civil service, began to key into it. So it became incontrovertible for them to embrace the new order. And so, when the government initiated the probe into the wage bill of the state, it was almost general applause. The over-bloated wage bill became the crux of series of verification and probes. Till date, the government has not stopped, as the various committees saddled with the responsibilities are doing a great job, churning out new revelations of how polluted some people have made the civil service.
I keep telling stakeholders to take responsibility for preventing and stopping payroll fraud in the local government areas. Because I believe even now, with the reduced allocations to both state and the local governments, if we take out all those who are working in, some of them are working in Tuoke University, they are working in NDU at the same person, the same person is in the local government system, the same person may be in the state civil service system, the same person will be in the federal medical center. So you have a fraudulent system. I want to address most of these reforms before my term runs out. I wouldn't want the next government, the next governor coming to inherit all of it. The person may not have the courage, because it takes courage to do it.
Across the 8 local councils of Bayelsa State, Nigeria, there are those who have attained the mandatory retirement age, but falsified their age to remain in service, preventing young graduates the chance to be gainfully employed. There is another set with computer-generated certificates who have been enjoying regular salaries, going for trainings at the expense of the government and gaining promotions, all with their fake credentials. Again, there are those who within a year have had unimaginable promotions. For instance, a case in point is someone who in 2011 was on grade level 4, but a year after, in 2012, he was on grade level 14, without the requisite qualifications for such promotion. Yet again, there is the case of those who draw salaries every month from various agencies of government, while another example of sharp practices are those who made their way into the civil service from 2012 despite the embargo on employment.
We'll stand as one.
Few weeks ago, the government took the first major and indeed bold step to implement the comprehensive reforms in the state civil service. It was at a well-attended press conference when the Deputy Governor, Boribioa John Jonah, announced that the government had withheld the salaries of 4,204 suspects from the 8 local government areas for the month of October 2017.
Investigation revealed that there is massive payroll fraud in this state, arising out of with a double salary, those who are earning double salary, those who are retired and still in the payroll, those who promote themselves the payroll, well above 700 retired identified payroll. Government decision is first of all for the administration to move smoothly, for all these subcommittees to come out not only with the reports of the committee, but also come with government policy that stand the test of time. Every subcommittee you see there will be tasked by the governor to come out with a government policy that will run a smart government for us. In the case of local government areas, we are all aware of the difficulty in paying salaries. Difficulty in paying salaries, and one of the reasons that they've not been able to pay the salaries as at when is that some local government workers are not meant to be there receiving salaries. It is the duty of any responsible government to make sure that those who are working and what they legitimately work for, and those who are not working are removed. Anyone that the committee finds that is not meant to be there would have his or her salary suspended. We are creating what we call the unpaid salary account. So what the committee has come up is two categories of personnel. One, those who are legitimately working, those who are doubtful. There's a committee headed by a judge to give justice. So once your name is in that category, you go to the committee, clear your name, go and collect the salary.
He warned that legal consequences await anybody found to have gone to the commission to make false claims, as the government was determined to ensure strict implementation of the findings of the panel.
This commission is not going to be biased towards anybody. So we will do our best and as speedily as possible to make sure that your case is sorted out and you go ahead to get your pay, or if you have to go to court further to address your issues, you will do that.
If you have a case, come to the commission and state your own side of the story. The commission, we have heard the chairperson of the commission saying that the commission will deal with each case as it comes and as dispassionately as possible.
The governor has the statutory powers under the law of Bayelsa State to set up a commission of inquiry to look into any issue that he wishes, especially like this one. He has set it up to look into the issues of the local government service, civil service, and then when they present their report, part of which has been done, when they present their final reports, the government will act on them, those reports. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly within the powers of the governor to do that.
To give more backing to the public sector reforms, the State Executive Council at its 84th meeting agreed to go ahead with the reforms despite the pockets of sponsored oppositions and protests. The council averred that it will not allow itself to be cowed, intimidated, or fall to the cheap threats and blackmail of its officials. The resolution pointed out that if the system is cleansed, more jobs will be created for genuine workers, while more money will equally be saved for development projects. The soon-to-be-unveiled comprehensive public service reform is designed purely as a turnaround mechanism to inoculate the public service with a vaccine of transparency, accountability, and service delivery, thereby consigning to the past the business-as-usual paralysis which had hitherto characterized the MDAs. It is also expected that it will promote the reorientation of values, which will then rub off on a larger scale in the gamut of government business and application in the larger society.
Government, through this ministry, has insisted was the payment of salaries. That has been the key factor. That, in fact, is the key decision on the jack sheets, the council salary payments. But unfortunately, within this period, even before this period, before government intervened directly, the intervention is this. That is, you ensure that when their finances come and we know their salary figure, ensure that that money gets paid into that particular, subheading. This is for salary, maybe this is for running cost, or every other thing is set aside unless salaries are paid.
With just few months outstanding arrears, which it is making frantic efforts to clear, the Dixon administration is fully committed to the well-being of the state's workforce. But sadly, for various reasons ranging from mischief to blackmail, different figures are bandied as the number of months the government is indebted to workers. However, concerted efforts are being made by the governor to assist in offsetting the wage bill of the local councils, where the case needs more attention because of the impropriety of some of the workers in connivance with a vicious cabal. The intervention of the state government has helped to salvage the system with brighter hopes of tomorrow for the local councils. It is instructive to state that the Bayelsa state government, since inception, has not interfered with local government funds. They are very autonomous. This is evident for all to see.
The state government does not control the local government in any way at all. I need to make this very, very clear. The resources that come to local government go straight to the local governments. The only thing state government did was, it was obvious that at a season, the local governments could not pay salaries. And of course, the local governments are in the state and they are the entire constituency of the governor. So it is proper that the government should know what happens at the different councils of the state.
The rationale of the Dixon administration to carry out probes and reforms has made more groups to support it. Only recently, a group of unemployed graduates addressed a press conference to throw their weight behind the steps taken by the government.
If you look at the society today, unemployment is a major problem we are facing in this society. Unemployment is the greatest stigma. I will use that word, stigma, in the sense that, have you ever for once imagined that after all your years in the universities, 4, 5, 6 years, as the case may be, then 1 year compulsory NYC again, then after this much investment, that you are not employed? It's so pathetic. You and I know that if today those sanity processes are really taken care in the civil service, it is going to create a whole lot of job opportunities for our teeming unemployed graduates. That is the more reason why we are supporting this policy by the state government. Because at the end of the verification, over 6,000 to 5,000 jobs will be created in the civil service. We want our youths to be employed. We want our unemployed graduates to be employed. That is the more reason why we are supporting this move by the state government to eradicate this ugly menace in the Bayelsa State Civil Service.
Appreciate the boldness of the governor, and also to thank labor union leaders and civil servants at the local government level they were on strike at its where you are aware. They have called off the strike. Our position is that we are not ready to fight labor union leaders. We are not ready at all to fight local government civil servants. What we are in for is to make sure that those who are ordinarily ought not to be in the local government civil service should be removed. Those who are due for retirement should be removed. Those who are dead, whose names are still appearing in the payroll, should be removed. Clean the system so that the youths can be part of it. That is our concern and nothing more.
The underlying principle of the soon-to-be-unveiled comprehensive public service reforms is to ensure that the architecture of governance is redefined such that the policies and programs of the restoration agenda are implemented with Bayelsans as core beneficiaries. As of today, the salary wage bill has reduced drastically, and the government is willing to go more after the culprits, flush them out of the system, and ensure that there is a further reduction in the salary bill.
This is a right direction to actually know the number of staffers in each of the local government or ministries or parastatals in the state. Because the wage bill of workers, especially in the local government, let me give Sagoma local government as a case study. This reform is a good thing to the local government system. Even the wage bill was about 69 point something million. And I have to appoint an economic management committee, even in my first time, to look into workers' salary wage bill because of the reform policies of the Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa State. And as I key into it, we actually reduce the wage bill from 69 point to 64 point something.
Governor Dixon is willing to do the needful to ensure he leaves behind a more efficient, robust, healthy, and productive civil service in Bayelsa State, devoid of payroll manipulators. With that resolve to sanitize the system, many people in the state know that a new and rising paradigm is taking root, especially in the public service, which effectively strikes a chord with the essentials of Governor Dixon's leadership vision. This vision is an ambitious template which would ensure an impressive stewardship that satisfies the basic, broad interests of the people of Bayelsa State, creating great economic opportunities, as well as making a beautiful statement in infrastructural development. And so for him, there is no going back, as the oath he swore in 2012 and again in 2016 is his moral compass. He believes in the right thing and the right thing he is doing, and for sure he will be remembered after his tenure as a man who did not blink when it was time to do the right thing, and also the man who said no when no was the right answer.
We must show the world that we are one, and praise the greatness God has brought our way, with a future so secure, and leaders are what we need. This is the man. We'll stand as one, united in every sense of the word. By essence, let us do what is right, with a future so secure, and leaders are what we need. This is the man. We'll stand as one, united in every sense of the word. By essence, let us do what is right, with a future so secure, and leaders are what we